Cho cái cuộc sống nó được bình thường. Anh chỉ cần một cái sự chân thành của anh thôi. Anh là đến ạ.
The dawn emerged softly over Tieu Diep's modest farmland, a tranquil haven cradled within the expansive rural landscape, where the air was filled with the clean, damp scent of rain-soaked soil and the delicate fragrance of wild herbs stirred by the morning breeze. The sky unfolded in layers of gentle pinks and silvers, the first rays of sunlight breaking through the thinning mist to illuminate the flooded rice paddies, their surfaces glimmering with shallow pools that mirrored the awakening day. With a sturdy reed basket balanced on her hip, its edges worn but resilient, Tieu Diep stepped into the muddy fields, her sandals sinking into the cool, wet earth as she approached the water's edge. The chilly water lapped at her knees as she waded in, her fingers exploring the silty bottom to unearth the hidden treasures, small, glossy snails and the rugged shells of river clams. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're enjoying this video. I've heard this area is abundant with snails and clams, so I'm out here to collect some for the market today, she declared, her voice lively with excitement as she pictured her audience tuning in from afar. Her hand brushed a smooth shell and she beamed. Anyone else find these near their home? They're perfect for stews or fried dishes. Wishing you all a smooth day, stay healthy, she added, her words a warm bridge to the world beyond her quiet corner. The morning progressed steadily, the sun climbing higher, its golden light piercing the dissipating fog to warm her skin, while the cool water eased the strain in her legs. Tieu Diep's hands moved with practiced ease, gathering handfuls of snails and clams, her basket slowly brimming with the day's yield, the shells clinking softly with each motion. The field thrummed with life, the melodic whistle of birds nesting in the reeds, the gentle ripple of a frog leaping into the water, and the distant clang of a farmer's hoe against stone. Sweat beaded on her forehead, blending with the mud streaked across her face, but she persisted, her back aching yet fueled by determination. Look at this haul, so many clams to sort out later, she murmured to herself, pausing to roll her shoulders. Her eyes drifted to a nearby hut, its roof patched with dried leaves, where an elderly woman sat peeling vegetables, her gaze following Tieu Diep's every move. "Bah, are you here all alone?" Tieu Diep called, her voice rising over the water's soft splash. The woman nodded, her smile faint but kind. "Just me, Chow. Keep working. Don't mind me.
Diep looked gently. All right, Bea, no distractions.
But as she sifted through her catch, a sharp, unpleasant smell hit her. Ugh, this one's rotten. Almost missed it, she exclaimed, flicking the spoiled snail aside with a grimace, her spirit undeterred by the minor setback. By mid-morning, her basket overflowed with a glistening array of snails and clams, their shells sparkling like wet jewels in the sunlight, a symbol of her relentless effort. She dragged it to the field's boundary, her arms quivering under the load, the basket's weight pressing into her palms, and took a moment to breathe, the cool air of fleeting solace. With a resolute glance toward the lively market in the distance, she set off, the path winding past inundated fields where farmers waited with baskets, past homes with children playing under dripping eaves, and past a rickety cart rolling slowly along. The scene echoed the vibrant pictures she'd seen. Villagers trading under tarps, families sharing meals, igniting a quiet pride in her heart. At the market, she secured a spot near a stall laden with rambutans, the air thick with their sweet, tangy scent. She spread her mat, arranging her catch with care, the shells attracting eager eyes. Fresh snails and clams gathered this morning, she proclaimed, her voice cutting through the market's bustling noise. A nearby vendor nodded in approval, and soon a crowd formed, their hands reaching for her wares. An elderly man tasted a clam, his face lighting up. "Sweet and fresh, give me 3 kilos, he said, handing over a handful of notes. A young mother with a toddler followed, her child clapping at the sight. "We'll take some too," she chimed, adding to Diep's growing earnings. Within 2 hours, her basket was nearly empty, the clink of coins in her pocket a sweet reward. With a grateful wave to her buyers, she packed up, her heart buoyant despite the muddy trek back, her mind turning to a secure future with James. Back at her weathered camp, Diep scrubbed the mud from her hands with a rough cloth, the earthy scent clinging as she sank onto a wobbly bamboo stool. The afternoon light filtered weakly through the rain-streaked window, casting jagged shadows across the room, and her phone buzzed with an incoming call, shattering the silence. It was James, his voice crackling with a mix of concern and warmth. "Diep, how's your day going so far?" he asked, the faint hum of traffic in the background. She smiled, settling into the chair. "Just got back from catching snails and clams down by the fields. Sold them all at the market. The locals pitched in. Everything's gone." James chuckled, the tension in his voice easing. "No leftovers for me, huh? Well, I've got good news. I spoke with BSC, and after I wrap up work, we'll head to his place together. It's safer for you there." Too Diep's brow furrowed, her fingers tightening around the phone. Go right away? James' voice softened. Not yet, go home, change and pack some things. I'll finish up by 11 p.m. and come get you. Sound good? She nodded, though he couldn't see it. All right, I'll be ready. See you then, James. The call ended, leaving her with the soft patter of rain against the roof and a mix of anticipation and nerves. Meanwhile, James sat at a small table on the second floor of a quiet cafe, the rain tapping against the windows, streaking the glass with silver lines. The weather had been relentless, a gray shroud over the city, and it gnawed at him. He sipped a cup of jasmine tea, the floral taste a sharp contrast to his thoughts. His phone rang again. Kasu. Where are you? James asked, his voice tight. Running a bit late on 5 more minutes, Sue replied. Hurry up, James urged, glancing at the paper spread before him. When Sue arrived, rain dripping from his jacket, James handed him a stack of documents. All done? He asked. Sue not dead? Everything's complete. James leaned forward. Good. Finished the receipts and land titles within a week. Sue assured him. It'll be done. James sighed. I've already put down $300 million. Today I'll transfer the remaining $1.7 billion. He pulled up a QR code on his phone, the transaction swift. 1 week, Sue, don't slack. Sugarin. Got it. James shifted topics, his mind drifting. Found a designer for the house yet? I'm thinking a garden style, but I haven't asked Diep if she prefers city or countryside. Can you recommend someone? Sue not dead? I'll line up a few contacts. James tapped his chin. I'm budgeting $2 billion, maybe 3.2 if needed, but let's cap at 2.5. The land we bought, permits all set. Sue confirmed. All clear. James mused. I heard the price jumped. Any idea how much now? Sue's suit? Could be double, but it's a solid deal. James smiled. Thanks for the tip, great find. I'll head out now. As he stood, his phone buzzed. His mother. James, are you bringing Diep to BAC's? I want to come too, she said. Sure, Ma. I'm on my way to pick you up, he replied. At home, he called her to the gate. Wait a sec, Ma, he said, helping her into the car. She asked, Is Diep's place far? James shook his head. About 10 kilometers, quiet, safe. Back used to be a tough guy back in the day. No one messes with his turf. His mother frowned. If we can't find someone reliable, I'd like Diep to stay with us. James hesitated. She's shy, living together unmarried might stir gossip. His mother relented. Fair enough, she added. I want to see her place myself. I'm worried with her alone. James nodded. She'll stay with BC for now. I'll handle Kaudao soon. Got a high-ranking military contact who can move fast. His mother squeezed his hand. Help her, son. Settle this for peace of mind. James agreed. I'll pick her up first, then we'll go to BAC's. Wait at the camp, Ma. I'll help Diep pack. The rain intensified as they drove, the wipers slashing through the downpour, a tense silence settling between them. At the camp, Tieu packed a small bag, her hand steady as she folded a spare shirt, her mind on James' promise. The night was thick with the sound of rain drumming on the roof, a stark contrast to the warmth of the photos showing families gathered indoors. Suddenly, miles away, a shadowy figure, perhaps Tung's rival, paced a dimly lit room, his face taut with frustration. How's the investigation on Tung going? He barked at a subordinate, rubbing his temples. The man shifted uneasily. We've tailed him for days, but no solid leads. The boss slammed a fist on the table.
Der Diep sind mordmænd.
I need results. The subordinate nodded. Yesterday we saw 2 cops at his place, talked for a while. Looked like it was about his pomelo exports. The boss scoffed. Exports? That's a flimsy excuse. Cops don't handle permits. Keep watching. The subordinate added. The job you ordered failed. James and Diep are back together. Rage flashed in the boss's eyes. Keep on Tung. I'll deal with them myself. Add more eyes for a couple days. The man hurried out, leaving the boss seething, his plans unraveling. Meanwhile, James, his mother, and Diep arrived at Tien's house, the rain-soaked path lit by a single lantern. James stepped forward, shaking Tien's hand. I called earlier. Thanks for letting Diep stay a few days. She needs a safe spot. Back Tien, a sturdy man with a weathered face, nodded. Come in, all of you. Inside, the room was cozy, the walls adorned with faded photos of harvests past. James asked, How's the flood affecting you, Bissy? Tien sighed. Ruined the rice fields, water's everywhere. James nodded. Same where I am. Diep will stay here a bit. Hope it's not too much trouble. Tien waved it off. House is quiet. Stay as long as you need. James turned to Diep. Back's my cousin. Lived here to escape the city's noise. Diep bowed slightly.
Chào bác gái.
I'm Diep, sorry to impose.
Bác Tien chúc cơ. No bother.
James visited years back. Good to see him again. James' mother joined them and Tien asked, Who's this?
Diep's Miled.
James' mom. His dad met her abroad. Tien grinned. So you're James' girl? James asked. Room ready for Diep, Bissy? Tien nodded. All set. Bad guy ushered them to the table. Let's eat.
Diep hésita-t-elle.
I feel bad keeping you waiting. She offered money, but BAC guy refused. You're here a few days, no need. Diep insisted. Please hold it for me, help me out? Bad guy relented with a smile. Diep admired the spacious kitchen. Saw the roads washed out, had to park outside. It's new though sturdier than the old dirt path. She glanced at the fallen rice fields. Can those be saved? Bad guy shook her head. Too much sand done for. We're sticking to potatoes and corn this year. Tien added, less corn this time. Over dinner a young boy, Haidang, joined them. He's 7 in 2nd grade, BAC guy said. Diep asked, you both farm full-time? Tien nodded. Always have.
Diep smiled.
With me here it's livelier, 3 of you now.
Bác gái tì rét. Hải đăng nét mít to grau lai dêm. Diep plugued.
He eats well. The meal ended with Diep thanking them. Food's delicious. Lucky to join you.
Bác gái waver it up.
Glad you're here. Place gets lonely. James turned to Diep. Stay a while. She nodded. Maybe I'll stay, then return to the camp. Be careful, James. Don't let anyone hurt you. He sighed. Sorry you're dragged into this. She squeezed his hand. It's fine. Being with you makes it worth it. James' voice softened. You've been with me through everything, happy or hard.
I'm grateful. Diep smiled.
I only have my heart to give back. You loved me when I had nothing. James nodded. That's all I need. As they prepared to leave, he added, it's late, let's thank Bay and go. I'll visit tomorrow. Bad guy called after them. Drive safe.
Surprised, she told me about Phyllis, a spa health director who had lost her husband several months before. I invited Phyllis to have lunch with me the next day, and we quickly established some common ground. We were about 10 years apart in age, but she had also been with her husband for about 50 years. She talked of how they met and what their life had been like. And I could tell by her stories and the warmth of her tone of voice that she, too, had a happy marriage. Then it was my turn. And all I could do was cry, and I told the story of my own